Hi, it's Sherri from A Quilting Life, and I'm here today to share a fun scrappy project that I'm going to start on. I'm actually going to be modeling my new scrap project after my 2019 block of the month, which is a half square triangle quilt. And my scrap bins are overflowing with half square triangles. I am getting overwhelmed with them. And so to force myself to use them, I decided to challenge myself to use them. And I'm actually going to make this quilt again with my newer collections. This quilt includes scraps from our earlier collections. I've got a lot of half square triangles left over from the past couple years that I haven't put into any projects. And so I thought it would be fun to challenge myself to do this. And so I will be doing it over a 12-week period. And I will make these little block layouts free for you to download on my blog on a weekly basis for those 12 weeks. I'll have all of the particulars about it. This is not going to be a sew along with videos, but it's just going to be patterns available every week if you want to use up some of your stash as well. So keep watching for all of the details and let's get started. Okay, so as I mentioned in the introduction, you might have seen this quilt before. It was actually the quilt I made for my 2019 free block of the month on my blog. And I used scraps from all of the fabrics all of the fabric collections that we had released until that time. I feel like, well, I know that this sashing right here was from our Harper's Garden collection. And a lot of the blocks, I know the outer border is from our Summer Sweet collection. So I'm trying to think, Summer Sweet. So yeah, so I think Summer Sweet would have been the last collection that was probably in this quilt. The next collection was Balboa, and I don't see any of that in here. But anyway, I really did, so from our earliest collection all the way through Summer Sweet, I had scraps in this quilt, and I really, really loved making this quilt. You can see that I used a lot of ivory-based backgrounds because that is what our collections that we were working with at the time, all of our backgrounds were kind of this creamy, light ivory color. So anyway, I have been collecting a lot of half square triangles, and I decided it's time for me to make this again with my newer collections and kind of focus on the more white backgrounds. Another thing I'm going to do different is that for these blocks, these were 3-inch finished half square triangles. I'm going to make my new quilt with 2-inch finished half square triangles because that's what I seem to be having a lot of. I don't have a ton of the bigger sizes. So, and I'm just going to show you, for example, when I sew on a project, I keep this little bin by my sewing machine, and what they are is they are leftover triangles that I've cut off of other projects, and so I keep this next to my sewing machine, and when I need a leader or an ender, I don't want to cut the thread, I will just sew these up. And so I've been putting them in these bins. And so these are all Laguna Sunrise. And I think this bin got full, so I put more Laguna Sunrise in here. And I know that I have this many or more left over from our Strawberry Lemonade collection. So I feel like the quilt is going to primarily be, right now, Laguna Sunrise and Strawberry Lemonade. But these all need to be trimmed. These can all be trimmed down so that they will make 2-inch finished blocks or 2.5-inch finished. And so what I thought would be really fun to do is be kind of to just re-release these block layouts for you for free. We're going to go 12 weeks straight. So it's going to be a springtime, summer, type of thing. I'm not going to be doing videos. This is just the video that will introduce it, and then I'll share my quilt when I'm done. But today's patterns will be on the blog today on Thursday, but when I share these in the following weeks, they will all be on my blog on Fridays. So you just go every Friday and you can download the layout and you can sew along for free, and you can make your half square triangles whatever size you want. I mean, if you want to do 1 inch finished, that would be incredible. That would be super fun to see. And if you want to do 2 inch finished like me, if you want to do 3 inch finished, it's really up to you. The pattern layouts will work for whatever size you're going to do. There won't be any fabric requirements, no fabric requirements, because this is a scrappy quilt. And at the end, I will share what I decide to do for my layout, because maybe I'll do a different layout than this. So I will share my layout with you at the end as well, once I figure it out. I haven't even figured it out. Honestly, I'm just doing this because I want to force myself to use all these half square triangles that I'm accumulating, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm telling you, there are a lot of them. You do need 16 half square triangles for each block. So every block is a 4x4 grid in a different layout. And so you will need 16 half square triangles for each block. And there will be 25 blocks for sure, unless I decide to throw in some bonus blocks. But right now I'm thinking 25 blocks, 16 half square triangles for each block. So 25 times 16 would be 400 half square triangles is what you'd need if you make all of the blocks. So anyway, I thought it would be a fun way. If you want to join me, that would be wonderful. You can head to the blog today to get the first 2 layouts, and then every Friday, we'll just do this every Friday. So if you make 2 blocks a week, in the 12th week, I'll have the 3 blocks, so that'll give us the 25 blocks for a 5x5 layout. And if there are some you don't like, just feel free to subtract them. If you're making smaller sized half square triangles and you want to make 2 of every block or 3 of every block to make a bigger quilt, that would be fun too. Who knows, I might even end up doing that. Maybe I'll find that I have enough for a king size quilt. We will see. But I would love to have you join in and use up some of your scraps. Okay, so that's it. I'm really excited because I know this is going to motivate me to use up these half square triangles. I feel like when I set a goal and when I tell other people that I'm going to do it, it kind of holds me accountable to myself. And I'm super excited. The quilt is going to be totally different. It's because of our background fabrics being a little bit brighter. And also it's going to be different because my blocks are going to be a little bit smaller. These were 12-inch finished blocks, and now I'm going to be making 8-inch finished blocks. So it's going to be really, really fun to see how this quilt turns out. And if you would like to do your own quilt and use these patterns, I would love to have you join in. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for stopping by.